Installing PiHole on a Raspberry Pi is a super simple way to create a network-wide ad blocker that allows you to block ads and other unwanted services across your network regardless of the device that you are using. With PiHole, I can block ads when I am browsing on my PC, and I can also block ads on other systems like my smart TV. And it's not just ads that you can block tracking URLs and no malware sites, and also the local DNS features are really helpful for accessing your home lab. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up a fully functioning PiHole server protecting your network. If you are looking for embedded systems, C programming, and home lab tutorials, then you are in the right place. Make sure that you are subscribed to stay up to date. To get started, we're going to need a Raspberry Pi. The version of the Raspberry Pi doesn't really matter. You can use anything from a Pi 2 to a Pi 5, or even a 0. In my case, I'm going to use a Pi 02W. If you're going to run more than just PiHole on this device, then I would recommend something with a bit more grunt like the Pi 4 or 5. If you're using a Pi 0 or 02W, make sure that you use a USB Ethernet adapter, as a spotty Wi-Fi connection knocking out your DNS server is a recipe for headaches. Also, it is worth using a decent power supply. I'll put a link down in the description for these. You will need a micro SD card, at least 8GB in size. To install the operating system, I'm going to use the Raspberry Pi Imager. I'm going to select the device I am using, the 02W, and select the Raspberry Pi OS Lite option. The Lite operating system forgoes a desktop environment, which is fine as we will be remoting into this device. You can then select your SD card to write the OS to. In the customization menu, we can give the Pi a host name. You can name it what you like. I'm going to call mine PiHole 02W. Work through the wizard to select your location, create a username and password, and then enable SSH in the Remote Access tab. Then you can write the OS to the SD card. With that done, it's time to stick the SD card into the Raspberry Pi and power it on. This first boot might take a few minutes. Once complete, it's time to find the IP address of your device. You can do this by going to your router's connected devices list and finding your Pi via its hostname. Open a terminal and SSH into the Pi by using your username at the IP address of the device, and then enter the password you set earlier. Now you can pull any updates with sudo apt update and sudo apt upgrade. Let any updates install. I'll put all of the commands used, in order, in a post on my website, linked in the description down below, so you can just copy and paste them. Usually, when a device connects to the network, the router assigns an IP address to your device from a range that it has available. If your device reconnects to the network, sometimes it may be given a different IP address. For most devices this is fine. However, for your DNS server, this is not ideal. All of your network devices will be looking at the IP address of your DNS server, and if that server's IP address changes, your devices won't have the new IP address, and they'll lose the ability to look up DNS records, and then you won't be able to access the internet. Setting up a static IP is easy. With the latest Raspberry Pi OS 13, which is based on Debian Trixie, we will use the Network Manager. Firstly, list all the network interfaces with nmcli device status. Find your Ethernet connection, in this case it's ETH0, with a connection name netplan ETH0. We can then configure this interface with the command sudo nmtui edit netplan ETH0. Using the arrow keys to navigate, swap the IPv4 configuration from automatic to manual. Then you can press show to open the rest of the settings. Here you can add the static IP address. Also, make sure to fill out your gateway. This is usually your router's IP address. If you don't know it, on a Windows machine, just run ipconfig in a terminal and copy the gateway address from there. Make sure that Windows machine is on your network. It is worth ensuring that the static IP address that you choose is not one already assigned by your router. Select OK. Now we need to restart Network Manager to apply these changes. We can do this using sudo systemctl restart network manager. And now you should have a new static IP address. You can check this by using the command nmcli device show eth0, where eth0 was our interface from earlier, and you can see that we have the new IPv4 address that we set. Now I like to restart the Pi just to ensure that I can SSH into it with the new IP address. Now let's install PiHole. We are going to run PiHole using Docker, specifically Docker Compose. We are going to copy and paste commands from the Docker installation instructions for Debian Linux into our terminal. Again, check out my website post for all of these links. Once downloaded, we want to add the user to the Docker group with the command usermod. This will allow us to run Docker commands without being a root user. This will require you to log out and back in for these changes to take effect. We're going to create a directory where we're going to store our Docker containers. Use the make directory command to create a folder. I'm going to simply call mine Docker. Then enter that folder with the cd command. Create a new file called docker-compose.yml. I use the nano editor, and in this case the command is simply nano followed by the file name. In this file, we will copy across the example compose file from the PiHole website, linked down below. If you already have a running Docker Compose file, you can just copy the PiHole service section onwards. In this file, there are a couple of changes you will have to make. Firstly, set your time zone, then a password for the web interface. In the capabilities section of the file, you can disable some of these if you know you aren't going to use these features of PiHole, but you can leave them as they are. You can save and close the file with Ctrl X and Y. Then, launch this Docker Compose file with the command docker compose up-d. The PiHole image will be downloaded and it will begin running. This may take a few minutes. You can track the progress with docker compose ps, and in the status column you should see that PiHole is up and running. Okay, with PiHole installed, navigate to the IP address of the Raspberry Pi /admin. Enter the password you set in the Docker Compose file, and we are now greeted with the PiHole interface. This is fairly straightforward to navigate, and the first thing we need to do is add some block lists of URLs, and these are just text files full of URLs that we want PiHole to block. The default lists that come with PiHole should be a good start, but you can find some more targeted lists online. Add the URLs of a block list that you want to add in the Add Lists section. After adding your list, you need to download it and add it to PiHole's database of blocked domains. You do this by going to Tools, then Update Gravity. The URLs will now be blocked by PiHole. However, we must tell all our network devices to use PiHole as their DNS server. The best way of doing this is to change the DNS server in your router settings, which will route all DNS requests on your network through your PiHole. The exact method will depend on which router you have. However, you can follow these basic steps. Log in to your router's admin page, find DHCP or LAN settings, and then set the primary DNS server to your PiHole's IP address. If, for whatever reason, you can't change these settings, you can set them individually on each device. For example, on a Windows computer, you can navigate to your settings, then Network and Internet, and select your internet connection. Go to DNS server assignment, and add the IP address of your PiHole. Now, the domains on your add list should be being blocked. As you go to websites on your devices, you will see queries being logged in the PiHole dashboard, and some being blocked. It may take a few minutes for all your devices to start using the new DNS server. Sometimes, domains on your block lists can break some websites. In this case, you can whitelist certain URLs. In the PiHole web interface, go to Domains, then add the domain into the domain box and select Add to Whitelist. You can also add specific domains to the block lists here. Another very useful feature of PiHole is being able to configure local DNS records. This allows us to assign a domain name for each of the devices inside our network. For example, I have another Raspberry Pi running my HomeLab dashboard service using Heimdall. I'll put a link to that video tutorial up in the cards above. I can create a record called dashboard.home and the IP address of that Raspberry Pi. Now if I go to a browser, I can navigate to dashboard.home and get my HomeLab dashboard instead of using the IP address. It makes remembering and accessing your devices on your network much easier. In this video, I have walked you through how to set up PiHole on a Raspberry Pi to block various URLs and to provide local DNS services within your network. In an upcoming video, I'm going to show you how I connect to my HomeLab when I'm away from home, including using PiHole as an ad blocker on the move. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss that. Thank you very much for watching. If you have found this video helpful, then please leave a like and consider subscribing.